All right, thank you. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today and for this opportunity to present my work. My name is Julia Luff, and I'm an MFA in Fibers candidate at Savannah College of Art and Design. I am here because I believe humanity is at an inflection point where all of our systems, whether that's food, energy, or fibers, need to be transformed if they're going to support us into the future. As a creative leader, my passion is to create a place and a space where textile waste can be appreciated. Let me tell you about how it all started. I grew up in a small fishing town in New Hampshire, where the idea of shopping local and investing in community was a part of everyday life. At the age of 3, I had one special garment I cherished. I wore the same purple sweatpants every day. It got to the point where those pants were so worn out that both of my knees were completely exposed. My mother promised she would mend them, but never got around to it. One day, out of pure frustration, I took my worn and loved sweatpants and taught myself how to sew. This determination and innate desire to create and repair drives my work today. My work examines historic mending practices. In a modern gesture, I interpret their meaning and purpose through fiber paintings that highlight the importance of care and preservation of our belongings. Like our bodies, our clothing naturally ages. Mending is a way to examine what and why we consume. The process of my thesis work exhibits my take on traditional darning and mending practices to collage materiality, morphing its state of being. This technique is overlaid in a repetitive fashion, forming a new textile altogether, while capturing impressionistic-like brushstrokes through the interconnected weaving of hand stitching. My sourcing starts from local charity shops, where the garment's next destination is the landfill. Large bins line a massive room and act as the mountains for my material excavations. When I am foraging for materials, I'm intuitively using my senses of touch and sight. I begin with dissecting, cutting, and unraveling old garments, and even spin my own yarns from scrap materials. Mending of the things we own directly correlates to how much we value them. In the era of fast fashion, global clothing production has doubled between 2000 and 2015, and consumers typically wear each item only 10 times before throwing them away. In the bigger picture, we need to review what it means to value cloth, politically, globally, and fundamentally. Fiber communities are preaching the importance of mending as an act of caring, but do consumers and makers really consider the origins of their clothing and the impact it has on land, air, water, and our own human health? By being curious, we can act, think, and be interested in process, which leads to a greater appreciation and understanding. Mending has deep historic roots. Historical mending techniques include Japanese boro, sashiko, and Indian kanta embroidery. In my work, boro and kanta use running stitch. Like my work, boro and kanta use running stitch to combine recycled fabric to repair and create a new textile. In the frigid and rugged winters of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where I grew up, mending was learned from necessity. Whether repairing fishing nets or darning socks, New Englanders have a long tradition of making the old new again. Darning, or the bonding of stitches to visibly repair a garment, is a Western tradition and used in my paintings seen here. The reason we continue to learn about and make textiles is a desire for connection between past and present. This is both practical and sentimental, expanding the wearability and spanning cultures and generations, carrying the story of material and techniques forward into the future. Throughout my work, there is a common thread of the value of care, labor, and knowledge we can place on textiles. In closing, my passion to create comes from the truth and connection that can only be found in textiles. Much like my well-worn purple sweatpants, the objects we invest time into represent love and memories. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share my work and research today.